Welcome guys. This is one of the most anticipated video I ever got, whether the iPhone is better or the Android. In this video, I'll be comparing iPhone versus Android, and we'll be going through the following tests as shown in the screen, but for this comparison, we'll be using an iPhone 11, 2019's flagship, versus the Oneplus 9 Pro, 2021's flagship. Here are the specs for the device. iPhone 11 has 4 gigs of RAM, while the OnePlus has 12 gigs of RAM, that's 3 times more. And not just that, the processor is also better in most scenarios but not by a lot. And the iPhone is almost 2 years old, but I'm pretty sure it can still compete against latest flagships because iPhones are very well optimized as compared to Android. Let me show you what is optimization by opening the PUBG in both phones at the same time, so we'll see which one loads up the game faster. By looking at the specs of the devices, the OnePlus has better performance, so it should load up the game faster, and it does complete the loading screen faster in the beginning. But as the Android gets closer, it's getting slower, whereas the iPhone catches up, and it even loads up significantly faster than Android. The Android took 4 seconds longer to load up the game. But loading into the lobby screen doesn't matter to most of you, so let's check which one will enter into a game faster. I will be entering into a cheer park training area, which actually takes quite a long time to enter, but let's check whether the iPhone will load up faster or the Android. So after about 10 seconds, the iPhone loaded up the game first, while the Android is still loading.
A few moments later.
Still loading.
One eternity later.
So after about 25 seconds, the Android finally loaded the game, and this is just 2019's iPhone. Latest iPhones will make even bigger difference. For example, here I have the latest 2021's iPad Pro. And it entered into the game within 3 seconds, that's crazy fast. While the Android took about 30 seconds to enter into the game. So now I hope you understand how good is iPhone's optimization. Anyway, now let's move on to the gyroscope comparison. I have played on both iPhone and Android, and when using gyroscope I noticed few things. The iPhone gyroscope is more responsive, or in other words it feels faster as compared to the Android. But I actually wanted to show you exactly, so I tried to measure or compare iPhone's gyro with Android by stacking up both phones on a tripod, but it didn't work. At the end, I found another way to show you the difference. So here I have both phones' crosshair pointed towards the same thing, and I slowly started tilting both phones at the same time. I paused the clip here, and you can see that iPhone's crosshair is slightly higher than Android. That's because iPhone's gyro is more responsive and it moves faster and quickly. Here is another example. Right now the gyroscope is going downwards, and if you look at Android's screen it's slightly behind or slower next to the iPhone's screen. You can also pause the video to check the difference. So the iPhone's crosshair will reach to the tower first, and then later Android's crosshair will reach to the tower. So the Android gyro is slightly behind or delayed when compared next to an iPhone, but the gyro delay isn't as big as you would notice in Oppo Vivo devices. I would guess that iPhone's gyro is approximately 10 to 20 milliseconds faster. It could be more, but I'm assuming it to be around 10 milliseconds, which is really small difference, barely noticeable to many people. And another thing that I have noticed is that iPhone's gyro will sync much faster. What I mean by that, for example, when you sit in a chair and play with gyro, the gyro will work just fine on both Android and iPhone. But when you lay down in bed and play with gyro, in Android it sometimes moves in opposite direction or takes some time to sync to your position, whereas in iPhones, the gyro will work just fine, maybe sometimes it rarely happens. So overall the iPhones gives a better gyroscope experience. Moving on to the next topic, bullet registration. Most people say iPhone's bullet will register first, so I tested this by shooting at almost the same time in the both phones, and I ran this test for more than 20 times, and the results were the iPhone winning most of the time. So is it really true that iPhone's bullets will register first? I mean, it could be. It's really hard to test that, since iPhones are very well optimized. Maybe that's why they register faster, but the bullet registration totally depends on your internet connection, so I have no idea what to say here, but there could be another reason, and that is the touch registration. Here is a fun thing to know, iPhone 11 has 120 Hz of touch sampling rate, While the OnePlus 9 Pro has 240Hz to 360Hz touch sampling rate, that's more than twice, so technically OnePlus should register the touch first, but in reality the iPhone with its slower touch sampling rate will register the touch first. Suppose if you touch the fire button on both the OnePlus and iPhone at the same timing, the iPhone will fire first. Even though the OnePlus's hardware is capable of being 2 times faster, it's not fully utilizing its true power. Or simply in other words, Android is not optimized. Even if they want to optimize, it would be extremely hard because there are more than 1,000 phones to be optimized, whereas on iOS, there are only few phones. And also every phone has a different specification. For example, ROG 5 has 300Hz touch sampling rate, and the Red Magic 6 has a 500Hz touch sampling rate, and Lenovo Legion 2 Pro has 720Hz touch sampling rate, and every phone has a different touch sampling rate, so the game developers can't optimize each and every phone because they can't even fix the bugs and glitches immediately. So just like how iPhone's gyroscope is fast and more responsive, in the same way the iPhone's touch is more responsive and faster than Android. Anyway, moving on to the next topic, will iPhones have less recoil than Android? Not really. When comparing both recoil patterns from Android and iPhone side by side, they look identical. Here is the hip-fire recoil comparison between Android and iPhone, and the hip-fire spread will be identical between Android and iPhone. I mean, the hip-fire spread will be totally random every time, but it looks identical in terms of recoil. But why do people say iPhone has less recoil? Well, there is only one explanation I have for that. iPhone's gyro and touch are very responsive. Because of that, it feels controlling recoil is easier on iPhone when compared to an Android phone. Moving on to the next topic, aim assist. Does iPhones have better aim assist? Well, let's find out. So here is the side-by-side comparison of Android and iPhone's aim assist. And the aim assist is identical in both. It performs in the same way between Android and iPhone. But why do people say aim assist works better on iPhone? Most people just think that if iPhone is better at few things, then it will be better with other things as well. But in reality, iPhone has only one advantage, and that is optimization. And maybe the other reason could be a smoother experience. What I mean by that is, iPhones will get constant 60 FPS, whereas on Android you do get 60 FPS, but it's not stable. It always fluctuates and drops a lot of frames, and you will notice those frame drops, and it's very annoying, and it can affect your gaming experience. iPhones will provide you with buttery smooth gaming experience. So this could be a reason why the people think aim assist and controlling recoil is better in iPhones. The only advantage I think Android has over iPhones is that 90 FPS, but only few phones will support it. And currently the OnePlus 9 Pro doesn't have support to 90 FPS, so I have no idea what it's like to play in 90 FPS on Android, but as far as I know, most of the players say Android 90 FPS feels like iPhone 60 FPS in terms of smoothness of gameplay. But however, upcoming iPhones will get 90 FPS option. Soon the Android will lose its the only advantage because Android 90 FPS versus iPhone 90 FPS is literally like Android 60 FPS versus iPhone 60 FPS. So as you know that iPhone will obviously get a constant and stable 90 FPS, whereas the Android always fluctuates between 90 to 50 FPS. And now to the graphics comparison. So here we have side-by-side comparison of graphics. We have set the same graphics settings on both devices, HDR extreme and colorful graphics. So now you watch it and find out if there is any differences, and let me know in the comments. And now if you see the sun's reflection on vehicle doors, the iPhone looks really good, whereas on Android it looks kinda bad. The textures aren't that good as you see on iPhone. This could be a screen recording issue, or maybe the graphics issues. So the graphics looks identical to me, but however if you look closer you would notice that iPhone renders houses slightly faster than Android. It's like 50 to 100 milliseconds faster on iPhones, but both has the same rendering distance, and that is around 300 meters. So in the final conclusion, the iPhones are better than Android when it comes to gaming, especially on PUBG Mobile. iPhone has better touch response and better gyroscope sensors to get accurate sprays, and most importantly stable and constant 60 FPS, which makes your gaming experience buttery smooth. However, iPhones are very expensive, but you're paying for what you're getting. Android would last only 2 to 3 years, where the iPhones can last up to 6 years if you don't break it, and Apple will provide software updates for more than 6 years, and it gives you a better experience for everything overall. But Android phones are affordable, you can get it in any price range, where in iPhones you don't get that choice. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. I hope you learned something new. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more upcoming videos like this, and see you guys in the next video. Enjoy my bot gameplay.
I can feel the power, I can feel the power. Feel the power. Yeah, money is time and hour. Time and hour. Yeah, well, I better activate the power. I'ma activate it, gotta make it, gotta chase it. I don't care what they be saying, I'ma do it now. And I've been really safe and I ain't giving up and I ain't giving in. Do it now for the dividends, I'll be on the path, I just gotta get it. Cause I got my mind, I'm big, so man, I ain't gonna give in now. I just gotta live this now. I be gonna be, man, I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it down, cause I gotta be that king in the ring when I'm knocking it out. When I'm back with the blue, cause I am just up on the journey. Just know that I'm just going insane. Monster that's sit on my seat. When I do, I can never get no sleep. Cause I just need to get it, man, I need to be the thing that I just painted out, man, you won't go see. See my vision, I'll be in it, I'ma kill it, I'ma take it all. Coming in, I'ma play it now, I'ma kill him dog, I'ma play the ball. Cause I gotta go and get him and I really just need it. Tell these guys that they can beat it, I'ma give it, I'ma grab it, man. Take it, never receive it, I'ma make it mine. I'm explosive like a mine, I've been working every time. Yeah, I do it on the grind, I'ma shine, yeah, every single day. I'ma kill this competition cause I'm going so insane. Hey, I really go so insane, yeah, I guess really ran through the pain. But I'm just back on my path and I fixed it now, it's really okay. So I ain't gonna waste, yeah, my chance and just my time. So I'ma be a monster, I'ma kill him, this is mine, yeah, yeah. I am ready to fire, I got a million desires that I just need to go achieve, I just need to acquire. So I've been climbing up this ladder, yes I'm going up higher. I need to do it till the day that I might retire.